This is Bucks County Community College, Political Science 111, E59, E-Learning, American National Government. I'm the instructor, John Deal. It's Mother's Day, and I wanted to touch base with you guys. The exam is on Tuesday and Wednesday, and you have a lot of time to take the exam. Make sure you block that time out and that you can use it, because once you start, as you know, you have to finish. Also, because there are two essay questions, you'll note, and they're worth 50 points, the answers have to be relatively extensive. Half of an exam. So think about the fact that you have to really thoroughly develop your answers to that and be very careful and craftsman-like when you do those essays. I'm setting up 3 blogs on the course site. I'm really interested in your feedback. There are 3 things that came up in question time that really piqued my interest, and I'd like to hear you comment on these. I have seen that you students have developed a habit of mind that I admire, which is to carefully think about issues before you decide where you stand on them. And I've noticed that you want to hear from each other and to consider opposite points of view before you make up your own mind where you are, and are willing to change if the facts show that maybe you made an error. In other words, you have an open mind and an analytical mind, and I applaud you for that, and that's exactly like I want it to be at the end of such a course. Awesome work on that regard. One of the questions was from Jamie, and she wanted to know about how to rate presidents, and the C-SPAN rating consisted of 5 characteristics: vision, pragmatism, consensus building, charisma, and trustworthiness. And she was curious as to my ranking and what your rankings of the presidents are. I'd really be interested in getting your feedback on that. My ranking in order of the top 5 for many different reasons is number 1, FDR, number 2, Harry Truman, number 3, Teddy Roosevelt, number 4, George Washington, and number 5, Abraham Lincoln. No surprises there. I guess they all seem to meet those characteristics pretty well. I don't have time on this tape to go through all the reasons why I would differentiate them and what puts them in that ranking, but I would be interested to hear a comment or two, at least on one or two, to see what your ranking is and have a comment or two on why you rank people the way they are. Not a huge essay, but just kind of share ideas on that. A second item was the killing of Osama bin Laden legal, proper? And that is really, that could go in many directions. I mean, did he have a right to due process? Did he have a right to habeas corpus? Should he have been taken alive? It appears that he might have been able to be taken alive. Personally, I'll share my point of view with you, is that I'm fine with everything just the way it came down, and I think all the choices, based on what I know now, are correct. American democracy goes over the top periodically when it's threatened by really extraordinary evil situations. Japan suffered the atomic bombs and the fire bombings that incinerated hundreds of thousands of people. Germany, in Dresden and other cities, with carpet bombing. It was so bad that people in the airplanes could smell burning flesh at 10,000 feet and higher. And then after World War II was over, the United States was really anxious to get back to being what it had been before the World Wars, which was a peace-loving country. And so I think we want to be peace-loving, but periodically the culture is shocked to the point where they go over the top and become extremely brutal. At the end of the Cold War, I think we were anxious to go back to being peace-loving again and thought we were going to, but of course items have not turned out that way, and the war on terror ensued. We have done things to folks that we would not have imagined doing to them before 9/11, and I'm interested in your comments on the specific case of Osama bin Laden being killed in a raid. If you want to comment on that, I'd appreciate that. It would be really fascinating to hear from you based on your knowledge that you now have. I also was struck by the fact that President Obama, between his decision to give the raid an approval to the actual carrying out of the raid, he had that roast where he pretty well roasted Donald Trump and showed the Lion King clip and I thought that was pretty funny, obviously, pretty humorous and all that good stuff. And you noticed he was kind of subdued, but he was trying to carry on as usual. And I thought of John F. Kennedy during the Cuban Missile Crisis, where he also went to some personal appearances when threats were much greater and there was much more pressure, and acted like things were normal. Very instructive incidents for future presidents to realize that they've got to be actors at times and carry on and with a sleight of hand, if you will. I wouldn't want the job, but there are three things that came to my mind. I'd like you to comment on the killing of bin Laden, and also on your ranking of the presidents. Good luck in the preparation for the exam, and I'll get back to you soon. Go well, everybody.